Dallas Cowboys. News, updates, rumors, transactions, takes, and more. So strap up, Cowboys Nation, and start your day off with A to Z Sports. Live with Will Steele.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Welcome to A to Z Sports Live. We are streaming live on YouTube, and I am your host, Will Durag Skywalker Steele. Boom! Hey, wake up. Wake up. We got the hardest working man.
Oh, shit. Hey, whoa.
Voch Lombardi in the building.
Oh.
He a little bit sleepy, though. He's sleepy. Yo, sleepy.
Whoa, Sky. What's up, man? Hey.
What's happening, man? Say what's up to the Bob Squad. Shouts out to the Blue Flame.
And we back. Come on in.
I was telling you behind the scenes, I said, hey, dog, you might be the hardest working man on this Cowboys YouTube thing, man. You're live abroad us every day. Shouts out the Foots. The show was amazing. And you're right on in the morning. See, what you don't understand, though, this morning-ish is no joke.
See, and that's the problem, because y'all like my friends in real life, so I just can't say no to you. Foots can only work at midnight, and you can only work at ain't no in between with y'all.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Ain't no in between with y'all boys, man. So it's late at night, early in the morning. Don't nobody want to work at 2.
Hey, yo, that's kind of crazy. I didn't think about that.
That's what it is.
I tell people, yeah, you hear. I tell any guest I get on the West Coast, look, I apologize. I can't get you on no. I'm so sorry. The one year, I think it was last year, actually, we had Broadus on here in the morning. I said, Broadus, just call in, bro. Like just call in. It's 6 o'clock over there. I know what's up. You up late, but he was fantastic, man. Shouts out to Broadus. Shouts out to the We Doing All Right podcast, the Lombardi podcast. It is, man. It is a lot of good information and nuggets that we get every day, and I personally think it's the best thing going for when it comes to this Cowboys camp coverage, even including what the big wigs are doing, because we are getting a scout's point of view, and then you're buffering it between Broadus and the fans, and obviously giving your opinions on it. So, shouts out to you, man. Great stuff.
Draft season about to be goofy, man. I mean, we got a whole football season to go through and all that, but Brian has been gracious, and hey, I don't have to say what he means to this and why I do this and all that. We ain't got to say that, but hey, shouts out to him for holding it down, man. Appreciate you, and tune in.
Hey, this is why I miss doing our show together with the chat. 2 things right now. Somebody said, Sky with the do-rag. Y'all look like a tag team.
Hulk Hogan, we coming for you.
I like to view us as the Harlem Heat of this thing, right? And then shouts out to AG. He said, "Hey, y'all got to get Broadus a do-rag."
If I get Broadus a do-rag in the chain, it's a wrap.
Oh, bro! Whenever the whole other side project happens, I'm going to talk Broadus into a do-rag.
Yeah. See, Broadus understand. I'm slowly acclimating him to, sound drops. And we go into character. Like is different things that we could do here that we don't do on the radio. Brian's about to open up. He about to be doing some wild shit. So yeah, do-rag Brian's on the way.
Do-rag Brian. Oh, that's gonna be. And look, this is how we gotta do it, because he old head. We gotta get him the dual color do-rag.
The half and half,
and like some ridiculous color too, like orange and blue,
silky,
and silk with the flap out.
Oh man,
we can't roll it back. Flap out do it. He got the Caesar going on. You see his cut?
Yeah. In this $2 million studio with a 2-tone silk do-rag. Why not?
The ultimate opening episode. All right, man. Let's talk some Cowboys nuggets down at camp. We'll hit y'all with some updates. Look, it's hard to really talk about every single last thing without me or you being there and without grabbing every single tweet or whatever. But we are fortunate enough to have folks down there. You are fortunate enough to talk to Brian, who's down there. And one of my favorite things about Camp Voch is listening to the coaches talk about new coaches, really talk about roles. Listen to the players talk about, scheme or things that are going to be different. And right off the bat, I want to talk about Weapon X Micah. We got action, Voch. We got action. One of the things in the offseason I was skeptical about because I didn't see the action, right? All we had was kind of a little bit of words, and the action was the draft. I'm like, look, I don't know how they're going to use him, but they're talking about using him a certain way in the sense of, hey, we're going to move him around, right? And if you go look at the tweet that I think it was John Machota put out, DFW the ticket, Zimmer was there. He said, quote, I'm not sure he couldn't play every position out there, to be honest with you. He's got great acceleration, great quickness, extremely brilliant, power, strength. We're trying to figure out a lot of things, different ways to move him. 1 week he might be doing this, the next he's doing that. We're trying to get him one-on-ones as many times as possible. We've heard Zim say that before. Playoff games, and a lot of games they struggled last year, they knew where he was, and they found him.
What you say, Zim?
What you say now, Chuck? Sometimes we're going to use him when offenses are focused on him. We're going to be bringing people from the other side. They can't just sit there and key on him. Now, Voch, Zim has been saying this all offseason, right? But now we're seeing the actions put to his words out there on the field. And honestly, I think this is the biggest takeaway from camp so far. There's a lot of things to take away from this, but how you're going to use your best player and moving him around and really just throwing a little jabs, even though they're going to say, no offense to what they did, throwing jabs at the previous regime. I think this is a huge, I don't want to call it revelation, but reality now.
And it's unfortunate that people having fights on Twitter about this. You know what I mean? There's a couple of people that's in the camp of you shouldn't put Micah off the ball or whatnot, right? But you do fantastic work here. Shouts out to you. And it was one of Zimmer's old quotes, right? He said, hey, I don't want to be predictable. I don't want to do the same thing. I want to try to change things up as much as possible and give y'all something to think about going into a game, right? And how many times, because we're friends in real life, right? The game is going on, like, damn, boy, why are we not playing find the scrub here? How come versus the Giants, 40-some snaps, 50-some snaps, Micah's just lined up over Andrew Thomas? And he can whoop Andrew Thomas.
And he did.
Don't get me wrong, but he gonna beat the hell out of Jeffrey Kafelkovich over here, whoever this is, right?
Clap at center.
Clapping them. You know what I'm saying? The 49ers game, 4-point stance, Trent Williams, 1st and 10. Why? You know what I'm saying? Go beat up on McKivitz. Like that's what the best teams do. When we go play Myles Garrett, they're going to find Tyler Guyton. Why can't we do that? Why can't we do that? So when Zimmer says that, it's almost like we acknowledge the lie that Quinn was saying. Oh, we're gonna line them up everywhere, XYZ. You the right defensive end. Micah's the right defensive end. And when we did line him up over the center or the guard, he beating the hell out the center and the guard. Oh, let's go away from that. It's working. Yeah. Let's just go away from that and put him right back at right defensive end. So what Zimmer's saying is just common sense, and it makes sense. Hey, you think he's going to be right here? This play, he's going to move over there. And if you want to go heavy to that side, I'm going to put D-Law and Osa on that side. You know what I'm saying? Even this thing out, stack up the odds against you. So it's good to hear Zimmer say that, but they always say that around this time of year. If we go out there week 1 and Mike is moving all over the place, satisfying to me.
What I think was a little different is that we're seeing the action to Zim's words. Sure. Like they're legitimately trying to figure out the best ways to use Micah. So, other reports down there are, and this was before Sam Williams got hurt. So I haven't had a chance to talk about that. That sucks a lot because you were already thin, I think, from a depth standpoint at the position, and now you lose a guy who's going to play a whole lot for you and who was going to play with Micah and D-Law on the field. Because we were hearing, hey, you had D-Law playing some right end, Sam on the left, and you had Micah rushing behind them. Now, that's not new. We've seen that, right, with Micah when Dan Quinn would throw out the end game and Micah would be standing up. But I think we would have saw a bit more of a mix of that as opposed to, 80-20 last 2 years, roughly. Micah on the ball, off the ball, and then rushing the passer off the ball. He's phenomenal rushing the passer off the ball. Dan Quinn called him a pass rushing linebacker, but then didn't use him that way. Sure. I think Zim is legitimately going to use him as a pass rushing linebacker at very least 40% of the time, if just based off of the action that we're seeing now. I was skeptical going into this thing because of the depth at D-line, but they asked him, hey, with Sam going down, does that change your plans? He said, no, we're going to ask more from Nealon and these guys, and they're going to be looking into free agency. So I think we are slowly but surely building up to a true Weapon X from Micah. And if you guys forget, all you got to do, man, is just go back and look at his film from his rookie year. If I can find it. I think I had it here. Let me see. No.
Of course you got it.
Yeah, I got it. It's right here. His rookie film, rushing the passer or coming downhill from the linebacker position. In case y'all forgot. The dude was on his way to being, in my opinion, an all-pro linebacker. I think he could do both at a high level.
And if you listen to Zimmer on 105.3 or whatnot, right, he was very complimentary of Mike. He said, oh, man, Mike is smart, very brilliant player. And it almost seems like, maybe Quinn didn't give him a chance for real. Foot said on the last roundtable that Micah being so good, it made
lazy.
Dan lazy, you know what I'm saying? And Don DeMarco Foots, you know what I'm saying? But maybe that's the case. Hey, if you're the best pass rusher in the league, I'm just gonna line you up here and just make you run upfield, But if you are some other team, hey, I'm just gonna run away from Mike. I'm just gonna, work around Micah being right there. If Mike's in the middle and he's faster than everybody on the field, like how do you how do you account for that? You just can't, and then passing downs, Micah doing linebacker stuff. Okay, well, if we just talking about pass pro, there's going to be times where your running back is responsible for dealing with Micah. You know what I'm saying? So it's the ultimate matchup tool. And look, we can watch him. We ain't there, but we see the highlights. We see the clips. Micah burst is what we think Micah's burst is. His closing speed is what we think it is, right? And one would say, well, I don't want Micah covering so much. I would rather him pass rush than to be covering. Well, Zimmer also said, which is important, I think, we're going to try to find one-on-one matchups as much as we possibly can. And that's what matters to me. So, yeah, Micah may get, 50 attempts from the end spot or whatever, but if he gets 25 attempts, but those 25 attempts matter, then cool. They're cool. As long as they matter, as long as he's getting pressure, as long as he's getting sacks, you just adding run support now. So it's nothing but a good thing to me.
You hit the nail on the head with probably one of the most important things coming out of that quote was we're going to try to get him one-on-ones as many times as possible. So this isn't Micah being a full-blown linebacker on first down, second down, all the time, just playing a run. This is Zim saying, we're going to try to, I don't care where it's at, left end, right end, over the center, right guard, left guard, 5 yards off the ball, blitzing, dog blitzing, looping. We're going to find a way, get him on a linebacker, find ways to get him one-on-one to rush the passer. But I think the final nugget is knowing that he's going to play a little bit more off ball, getting after the passer, is he dropped weight.
Yeah.
Like when I saw Micah post his weight, I think he's somewhere around 245 now, I said, oh, they told him, yeah, bro, you're going to be doing a lot more different things. You're going to be dropping back from time to time. You're going to be, playing in the middle from time to time. You're not just going to be rushing the passer all day. So get your stamina up, right? Drop a little weight and be ready. That audio you talked about, this was Zim saying that because I feel like people need to hear this because there's people who assume Micah's not smart, Micah doesn't study and all this other stuff. But this was Mike Zimmer on Micah Parsons.
Like every morning we sit down and we come in there and we talk about things and he's a very, very smart guy. He's brilliant and he has some good ideas and if they're good ideas we'll implement them. And when you have a puzzle piece like him who can do so many different things, we're going to try to not allow the offense to know where he is all the time. And I think that's a big part of kind of what he's saying. So it's been great, sitting down with him, getting to know him, and so we're excited to go from there.
I believe him, Voch.
Yeah,
I believe him. If that was DQ saying that again, I'd be like, I don't believe you. We need more people.
Yeah. you know, Zimmer, Quinn didn't really give you answers all the time, right? He's like, oh yeah, we're gonna go out there and line up and see what's, see what's happening here, and when we see what happens, we're gonna go out there and do our thing. We're gonna party, right? Zim is saying, hey, we gotta move him around. They found him. I don't want them finding him. Yeah. When he's unfindable, we're better. You know what I'm saying? And I just love being self-awareness like that. I love Zimmer's self-aware. Like, dog, man, ain't no way y'all really got everything out of Micah that y'all could have got out of Micah. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm really just talking to the online crowd that's just so anti. Oh, look at Micah's PFF numbers at linebacker. Man, that don't matter, dog. Because if you're a weapon, you're gonna be doing different things anyway, dog. Let him work. Let him work the edge. Let him blitz from the middle. Let him cover. Yeah. Let him cover, because you want to be unpredictable. How about this? Just my football brain working or whatever, right? We know Micah gets triple teamed all the damn time. How dope would it be to put Micah at edge, or just put Micah anywhere, anticipating that they're going to slide somebody to his side, Micah bails away, and some pressure's coming from the opposite side? That's what Zim is saying. Yep. That's what he's alluding to. Like, if y'all want to game plan so heavy on Micah, I'm going to game plan on your game plan, as opposed to, Dan, we just going to line up and boogie. We're going to line up and party. That's what he say. Hey, we just going to go party. We're not going to party. I'm going to study and figure out how you adapt to this character. And now halftime adjustments make sense. Okay, they doing this. All right, cool. I'm finna do X, Y, Z. And if Micah got to drop back in coverage, cool. Marshawn step up. D-Law step up. Everybody else, Osa step up. That's what life got to look like now.
Yeah, and we're not saying Micah's going to be dropping back 150 times this year. I do think they're going to try to get him moving forward as much as possible, but Zim is low key saying somebody else got to make some damn plays, because we're going to scheme to the point where teams are going to try to take away Micah, but we're getting one-on-one somewhere else. And that's why the loss of Sam Williams is huge to me, because he was that young veteran, that third-year leap we was hoping to take advantage of, and I thought that he could have because of the opportunities, right? I feel like his production was going to increase from that alone. Now he's going towards ACL, MCL, and Coach Zim talked about Marshawn Nealon, who he said, hey, he was gonna play anyway, but now we're gonna ask more of him. And for me, I hate asking for the world from these rookies. Yeah. So I'm hoping they go out and get Yannick Ngakoue or Carl Lawson or one of these veteran guys to come in here to help with the depth, because you can never have too many rushers, number one. Number two, you never replace the depth you lost, in my opinion, the veteran depth you lost this offseason. So I don't know where you stand on that, Voch. I know you big draft guy and just, throw rookies out there, and that's fine. But I feel like for the long game, playoffs, wanting to reach where you want to go, I think they need to add more depth there.
Yeah. What we have currently is good enough to beat the Giants, like it's good enough to beat the Washington Wizards and all that. But the conversation is, when we get to January and we got to play San Francisco, we need as many guys as possible, right? And look, that's just not a us thing. Look at San Francisco and all the pass rushes they had. They still went to go get Chase Young, and they still went to go get Randy Gregory, right? You should always be in the mindset of constantly adding. If you're the Eagles, all you've done is draft D tackles. Cool. We're going to get some more details, whether they 40 years old or not. We're going to keep adding. And if you don't use them, Robert Quinn, you just don't use them. You know what I'm saying? Randy Gregg, you just don't use them. But you just don't want to. All right, we're going into a contender fight, a playoff team in the Browns and a playoff team versus the Ravens. Tyrus Wheat, go get them. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to have to do that. Viliami, who was just on broken pinky out for the year protocol, go get him, son. No, I would love to get Shaq Lawson. I would love to get Yannick Ngakoue. And you're not using these guys as if they're prime versions of themselves. You're using them when D-Law and them come off the field, when Micah's not at edge, then you're using those guys. So even as your third and fourth rusher, you always need depth and just more dudes.
Yeah, somebody said, who are the Ds out there? Well, it's Nealon, next guy up. I think somebody was, hey, we're going to keep a close eye on Fehoko. I do wonder, do they now look at ghosting and say, well, you're gonna have to be predominantly DE as opposed to going back and forth. Hey man, they need to get some bodies out there.
Well, if Ghostin going back to DE, who the hell playing 3-tech? We ain't got bodies for this, so they gonna have to either
that's a whole nother discussion, man.
They gonna have to sign some tackles and move Chauncey to end, or they gonna leave Chauncey right at tackle and go sign some. You're gonna have to bring somebody in at some point. And Will McClay said yesterday on the radio, yeah, man, we're gonna go through our processes and add some bodies and bring somebody up in here. And look, Scott, I just couldn't help but to have a face. I was like, so what was stopping you from bringing people in this whole time?
Come on,
like why we gotta wait till something happened to Sam? Why we gotta, And
I know why. The son that runs the team.
Yeah,
ain't no way. Will McClay looks at some of this roster and is like, yeah, we good. No, not buying it. Will McClay is a football dude.
Yeah.
But Will McClay also know, hey, dog, I ain't picking up the money. What'd you say, boss? Okay, you want UFL? I got you.
I can be in charge of every single draft pick, Scott. I'm not looking at Eric Scott as a reason why I'm not bringing Gilmore back. You know what I'm saying? I'm not looking at Villiam. Hey, they're gonna have to. I don't believe they're gonna have to step up like that. Now, when I say they're gonna have to step up, I mean Villy gonna have to go from somebody that ain't playing to somebody that's gonna play a little bit.
Right.
These people want them to go from you ain't playing to you might have to start because Sam done got hurt. Man, that's ridiculous, man. Go get a veteran and quit playing so much. Quit waiting around so long. Go prioritize something for once in your life, Steven.
Yeah. Speaking of Steven, man, we'll get to that.
That's why we can't work for .com, Scott, because we'll say shit like that. We'll look right in the camera and say, Steven.
They'd have probably fired me in the middle of the year. or Derek would have been like, come here, Will. Come here. Let me tell you how we do these things here, right?
In October. The second month and say, hey man, we can't
hey, take that out because they record the podcast. Take that part out. That's all. Just take it out. They're like, why Sky keeps skipping?
Well, boy,
and let me tell you something about
Sky ain't saying nothing the whole show. He's just sitting back like that. Why is Sky like
in different poses?
Hey, man, let me tell y'all something. Go ahead, Voch.
They gonna pull my car so quick.
Oh, they gonna get you up out of there, boy. But
Hey,
I feel you, man.
Yeah, I'm saying that's what I'm saying. So, all right, so that's kind of the update we got on Micah Parsons. Another update that's coming out the first week or so of camp, and all eyes were going to be on no other player more than Trey Lance, in my opinion. Right, and that's a lot of pressure for a guy who ain't never been here, who doesn't understand this. Remind you, when Trey got here in August, camp was done.
Yeah.
Right, he's practicing in front of nobody. He ain't playing. Everything's just so comfy, cozy. Went out there at Oxnard, you got the cameras on you, you got all the fans on you, and let's just be real. According to everybody down there, this isn't even an exaggeration, contrary to what people who hate Dak Prescott want to believe. It's struggle season right now for the young man, Voch. Just not like the game is a bit fast, according to some down there for him. Afraid to throw it beyond a few yards. It's struggle season, bro. And I'd like to think he's going to get better. I truly do believe that just based off of the reps. But I'm thinking maybe not at camp. And this is what I mean. You said this. It's only going to get harder once they put the pads on and start really playing out here. Yeah. And the mental processing part of it, you have to make those mistakes at camp. So I feel like it's still going to look very skittish at camp. And in preseason is where Trey is going to have to stand out with his athleticism, running around, making throws on the run, maybe just flat out run plays. I don't know. We're going to get to a point where we're like, Trey Lance is killing it at camp.
Voch got two questions. Voch says this. If Trey Lance was an undrafted free agent or his name was Brian Hoyer, do you think we're even having a conversation about Trey Lance every day?
Oh no. Let's be real. We're having a conversation because they traded a 4th round pick. They haven't signed Dak Prescott, and half the damn fan base thinks he's the savior of this franchise. That's why we're having a conversation.
An even better question. Voch says this. Last year, Will Grier was served his walking papers.
Oh, don't do that, Voch.
And the last game of preseason, Dak Prescott was calling the plays, right? Voch asked this to you and the chat. Chat, y'all can answer also. Do you think that Trey Lance is capable of having a Will Grier exit game? Because if not, I don't want nothing to do with him.
You know what?
Can Trey Lance go into a preseason game and what he did, like what, 303 touchdowns or something like that? Can he be better than Will Grier? Scott?
I don't. So Will Grier did that in the very last game against Costco workers.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? The blue
Trey
flame.
gonna have to do it against Costco workers. Basically, look, Trey's throwing to against some Costco workers right now.
We'll get into that. Can he have that type of electrifying game? He has not had that in the preseason in his career yet. Will Grier was like a real quarterback though. Multiple year starter at West Virginia, started some games in the National Football League.
Sure.
Processing wasn't his issue, right? Will was just very erratic. He ran around too, but he could throw the rock.
Yeah.
I would love to ask the question, if Will Grier last year in camp compared to Trey this year, how'd y'all thought, right? So I'm gonna say no from a throwing standpoint, but I think Trey could still electrify us with his playmaking ability with his feet. But right now, as we 7:30, based off what we're hearing, I don't see it from a throwing standpoint.
I just remember once upon a time, Will Grier versus Cooper Rush was actually a conversation for real. Now there's no conversation whether it's Trey Lance or Cooper Rush. Everybody's saying, "Hey man, I don't think Trey Lance doing very much out there. I don't think Trey Lance is stepping up to the plate." I personally think Trey Lance running around so much because he's missing reads out there. Like he's running like he's missing reads, not like he's just out of time and just showing off his athleticism.
But when he does run, he looks dumb athletic.
He's an athlete. He's an athlete. He looks great. Time is gonna tell though. Time is gonna tell. We still got preseason to go through, and I don't think. Like these are some pretty good second team receivers for Trey to have to throw the ball to. So I think he's going to get every chance to kind of show out. But if he can't, I think he's your second quarterback regardless, because I think politics are going to, Will, if you got to, but I think, man, you know how we do, guy. You know how we do, man. You making all that money. 4th round pick. Jared gave it all up without asking somebody. Man, Trey Lance going to be backup quarterback up in here. I just think it is what it is, regardless of what we see from Rush or how whatever Trey Lance is. But I tell you what, Trey not touching foe. For everybody that's out there holding on for any last bit of help out here, Trey ain't touching foe at all. So Dak back there drinking water, shooting dice, playing dominoes at practice. Boy, he ain't worried about backup quarterback at all.
His price is going up just because of that situation. This is Zach Martin all over again. Oh, you don't want to pay me? Fine. Throw them young men out there and look what's happening. So there's no way. Remember, everybody was like, once Trey get out there, he's going to show the Joneses they don't need Dak. Yeah. That never, that to me was just never the case, because he's at camp. He can't show enough. Mm-hmm. Even in preseason, you can't base everything off of it. Trey's going to have to win the Joneses' hearts if something were to happen to Dak Prescott or Cooper Rush. At this point, the way it's playing out, they're carrying 3 quarterbacks. I think they always were.
Sure. But
it's going to be really interesting come week 1 who the designated emergency guy is. I'm saying.
Hey, man, Dak haters get a new savior every year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
Dalton,
when Rush went, 5-1, boy, they just, savior. No, get him up out of here. So I guess they just grasping for anything that they possibly can, man. But I'm not having it, bro. Trey hasn't, like, we see like 2 or 3 passes from Trey like per day, and I'd be like, "What the highlights at?" They be like, "It ain't none." You know what I'm saying? It's just Trey running or Trey throwing the ball to Kalen Carson or whatever. So I'm out on Trey unless he just shows up and just totally proves me wrong in the actual games. If he's a gamer and a bad practice player, he got 3 opportunities to show me.
Oh yeah, and the gaming aspect to me, unless he just wows us from a mental processing standpoint, is going to be with his athleticism. I think they're going to have to dial it up that way. And look, people ain't gonna like to hear this, but I think I'm starting to see why Kyle Shanahan was like, this just is not going to work out. Yeah. Because the number one thing you have to do, Voch, in Shanahan's system is you have to be really good pre and post snap. Like you have to be able to process the game after the snap a certain way. And from what I was hearing, and obviously the film, but from what I was hearing there, that wasn't happening. And obviously, right? Like Trey didn't play. He had 1 season in college, and they put that pressure on that young man immediately. So he had to win differently. Shanahan had to switch up the offense for him, and it didn't work out. I don't think it's a surprise why Brock Purdy came in there and was able to do it. Brock played many years at Iowa State. He can process the game. He may not have the best arm, but he can process the game post-snap better than anybody that's been in the Shanahan system. So that makes sense why they said, nah, that's our guy. I know he's a third-round pick and he's Mr. Irrelevant, but that aspect of this scheme is so important. Yeah. Don't think for a second that doesn't matter in the West Coast either. Don't think for a second. So if he gets better there, then Trey will get better. If not, we'll be looking for a quarterback if Dak isn't signed, if you know what I mean.
And there's just me being honest though, there is a part of me that says, hey man, what if he like Jordan Love and he got to be 28 to be good? You know what I'm saying? What if he just need a couple more years and and that's just how
that's
it works.
what they're trying to say. He's Jordan Love. It's not close.
But my whole thing, like Trey been sitting his whole life at this point. Like he sat behind Purdy and Donald, and he ended up here, and he sat behind. He didn't do anything all last year. And this camp was supposed to be his look how much better I've gotten party, and he's not been able to show us. But I'm not gonna say a thing until preseason game 1. But Scott, if he come out there and stake it up, I'm gonna wake up early in the morning. Come on, your show, boy. Stop. Y'all like this show, King?
Hey, look. The best case, what you should want is him to be ridiculous this preseason.
I want him to be phenomenal.
You want him to look crazy this preseason because I'm telling you right now, to me, I'm trying to get that 4th or 3rd or 2nd back from a quarterback needy team.
Scott, people have me so mistaken. I want Brock Hoffman to be amazing. I want Trey Lance to be amazing. I want Awesome Riches to be amazing. I just know they ain't. I just know they are not. I want Jalen Toe to be, but if they're amazing, then our team is better. Our team is,
and that's
so
the
much
other
better.
part of it. Yep. If they don't flip him, then now you have a better QB2, and I'm still skeptical on beyond that because my whole spiel on this, Voch, is if he does look like what people want him to look like, you're going to have to now pay him upwards of $30 million. I don't know if y'all seen the quarterback market. I was thinking 20, 25, $30+ million, and then the Joneses are going to use that as an excuse for a guy who played, a couple games. So I'm just ready to, if they're going to move on from Ford, then it needs to be from the draft, but they should not, and that's a totally different discussion.
100%, Mr. Wolf.
You brought up them receivers, though, and we ain't got to talk about contracts. Like CeeDee Lamb's gonna get done. Although, shouts out to the guy on Twitter who's been
pretty Ricky. I just found out about him yesterday, and I just went down his timeline, and he got some. He's been calling them joints. So
he's Twitter famous for calling his shots, and he got some of the local media riled up. Over his report of 138 million or something like that for Lamb.
Clarence ain't got no sources.
Stop, because we're trying to get Clarence back on the show. Right. Look, man, I feel like Lamb's contract was the easiest call to get done. I don't think that was ever not going to happen. Now, the details of it, that's a different discussion. Mm-hmm. So it looks like from reports, CeeDee Lamb deal will be nearing here soon. Mm-hmm. But he ain't there right now. Yeah. So we're looking at some of these other wide receivers that are making some noise. The Jalen's are making noise, Tolbert and Brooks, right? Mm-hmm. Tolbert is fighting off Brooks in a good way. Not saying like, he's struggling out there to keep Brooks off of him. Mm-hmm. From all accounts, the 3rd-year leap for Jalen Tolbert looks real. He's making plays every day. He's dependable for Dak. he's looking like a guy who's going to be reliable as a potential wide receiver 3 this year. Jalen Brooks is keeping up in the sense of, hey, man, I'm here too. If you need me, I can be reliable, and he's making plays out there. 3 name, Tyron Billy Johnson is on a heater, is what the quote was down there. Every day he's making some big plays, showing off his speed, deep ball. Beat a guy who's having a good camp in Kalen Carson on a deep ball from Cooper Rush. So these 3 wide receivers are making some statements out there, Voch. Has your the race for 3, has it changed? Or are we still looking at it the same way? And who you think will win it?
Nah, man, it ain't changed. Too much. I'm excited to see, or I'm just happy to see that Jalen Tolbert is just constantly putting good days on good days, and he had some good days last year too. But this is what's been keeping me positive about it, right? Michael Gallup, and shouts out to Michael Gallup. He's retired. We ain't gotta say his name no more. But Gallup was a guy last year that didn't seem interested, like he was mentally in a different place. He didn't seem like a character that was fully recovered from his ACL. He was a character that was just out on the field and not being thrown to. He was a character that just blocked a little bit. And he was a character that got, benched after a while, right? Jalen Tolbert just got to be better than that guy. All he got to do is be better than that. Just be better than a dude that got benched or just not catching the ball, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't have to be a superhero. And I think that's one of the that's the, I guess, biggest advantage for that group of guys, for Tolbert, Brooks, and Turpin. For those group of guys, they don't have to be wide receiver 3. They just got to be pass catcher 4, because Jake is going to hold it down. CD is going to hold it down. Cooks is going to be better than he was last year, I can imagine. All they got to do is catch the ball. Like 5 targets a game? Will that make sense? About 5-6 targets a game? All you got to do is just catch
between the 3, yeah.
Catch the ball when Dak throw it to you. That's all you got to do. Be open. Be an opportunist. And, whether you see Jalen Tolbert, the ball's behind him, he's turning around and catching, or Jalen Tolbert making catches up the field, Jalen Tolbert finally getting that back shoulder thing figured out. We just see Jalen Tolbert looking like a different receiver now. So I think it's confident, man. As long as we ain't asking Jalen Tolbert to be wide receiver 1, he's been wide receiver 1 at practice though, and Brian even said one day he was looking better than Cooks. I'm like, hey, cool, perfect, fine.
And let's not forget, bro. Everybody not named Michael Gallup essentially as a wide receiver 3, has pretty much ate for Dak.
Yeah,
like when you've been kind of that third option ish, Cedric Wilson, Randall Cobb, Cole Beasley early on, like you can eat when you are the consistent 3 type. Last year, Gallup wasn't the consistent 3, and Gallup wasn't a good 3. Injuries, he hasn't been the same in years, right? So they inserted Tolbert, and I think what happened is, because they didn't just play Tolbert right away, they look at Tolbert's numbers and we think, nothing, right? I thought Tolbert took advantage of his reps last year. I feel like if they played him right away, Tolbert would have a 500, 600 yard season, 4 or 5 touchdowns. We'd be talking totally different about that 3rd year leap. But the film don't lie, man. I mean, Aisha says it all the time. Tolbert was open a lot, but you're not going to go to Tolbert when Lamb is eating. You're not going to go to Tolbert when Cooks is the second guy. So I actually have confidence in Tolbert being a solid 3 for this team moving forward. Is that enough? That's a totally different conversation. And then the young buck, Jalen Brooks. I said this before, Voch. Healthy with Lamb on the field, I'm not worried about the passing game.
Yeah,
I feel like Dak, the weapons, Jake, they'll be fine. The game plan's a different story. Years from now, a different story. Do we think Jalen's a legitimate number 2? Well, we'll be able to tell this year. But 2024, they have enough. Turpin, we ain't even said nothing about Turpin. They have enough to go out there and be a productive passing offense. That I ain't worried about.
I mean, Dak makes all these dudes look good, man. You know what I'm saying? Who's our guy? Turner that went to
Denver or something. I don't know.
San Fran or something like that.
Fran. Yeah.
We was up here like, hey man, Malik
Turner.
Hey man, Malik Turner got something. Nah, man, that's just Dak elevating people. Cedric Wilson gets elevated and goes to Miami and catch 2 passes, or if that. Dak is gonna elevate all these guys, man. And to your point, or to all our points, Dak being able to elevate these guys, you can't be missing practice. So if you're a guy like Flournoy or something, like, man, you better get your whatever's wrong with like hamstring had a little, you know what I'm saying? You better get that straight, man. Now,
yeah.
You better get that straight, man, because that gonna make Tyron Billy Johnson like a stud when it's time. You know what I'm saying? So I think what's gonna be big for all these guys, really, Scott, is last year we didn't do the team practices things or whatever, but like, hey man, the Rams is coming. You know what I'm saying? So I think we're gonna find out a lot about these guys. Okay, you can beat up on XYZ, but the dudes that's showing out in the Rams, you know, that Ram practice, the other, you know what I'm saying, all that, that's when because Dak ain't gonna play preseason games, but Dak is gonna play in those sim game types. You know what I'm saying? So if you can show up with Dak versus the ops, that's humongous. Your ass might want to be healthy when that comes around.
That's a great point, and especially for a guy like Tyron Billy Johnson, who we brought him up at the last time we talked last week, did the 53-man roster prediction. We said, hey, they like him. You know, they liked him last year. They brought him into camp. He didn't make the team, but I think they kept him around on the practice squad. The season was over. They signed him back to a futures deal. What I didn't know about Tyron Billy Johnson, I didn't realize he was 28 and this is his 11th team.
Yeah.
So, you know, I get it. My man is on a heater right now, but I would like to see him with Dak, like you said, in these mock games, these scrimmages, because then that'll say, okay, maybe then he can push a Flournoy where we can just say, hey, young buck, Hammy, let's put you on IR. Let's give you some time. We'll get you back next year. You're a 6th-round pick. I personally never believed that he was going to be somebody you counted on anyway, year one. And this veteran practice squatter in Tyron Billy Johnson, maybe after his 11th team, he figures it out and he can make some plays for Dak Prescott. But for me, that's important to see him out there with Dak, not necessarily with Cooper Rush again. We saw that last year. He made some plays, but that didn't matter. When you're making plays against the second and third team, they don't really hold high value, apparently. But if you make some plays with Dak against who's the corner out there? I don't know who the corner is against with the Rams. That's a different story.
Yeah. Man, Sky, if I'm out there playing wide receiver and Dak come off the field, I'm just going to get out of line. I'm just going to sneak out of line.
You going to pull Homer Simpson?
Dak will make a career. For example, Scott, how about this? Voch says this. How many times on social medias, Twitter, YouTube, how many times did you see Will Grier going crazy throwing the ball to John Stevens Jr.? I saw
Jags game.
Sure, but I saw Dak going crazy with John Stevens Jr. John Stevens made a lot of his, name or whatever, catching high passes, but catching the football from Dak, like Dak being able to elevate these guys. Hey man, who is this John Stevens guy? Who is John Stevens guy? If you a third team dude catching passes from the third team quarterback, you're just kind of gonna blend in a little bit. But when Dak's throwing these passes, that's when you get that's when you get the eyes on you, man. So if I'm Tyron Billy Johnson, a jobber, and look, it sounds crazy,
like
but
that one, jobber.
It sounds crazy, but if you Tyron Billy Johnson, man, I'm looking for Dak. Hey yo, Dak, man, give me. You know what I'm saying?
I'm jumping in front of the line.
Yeah, give me one of them nines. Give me one of them bang 8s or something so I can really show what I can do here. You know what I'm saying? If you go out there with Trey Lance, he might miss. And you wasted a rep. You know what I'm saying?
If I'm on my 11th team, I'm pulling all the stops. You hear John Fossil, ones. I'm tripping Brandon Cooks. I'm hiding his helmet. I'm messing up his cleat, untying his shoes. Oh, I got you. I got you. I'm out there and I'm making plays. They about the same age.
Johnson, his age. Yeah, he older than him. He older than Cooks.
The same age. Hey, Tyron Billy Johnson, like, come here, Toby. Let me take you under your wing, dog. Toby, motherfucker, I got more snaps than you out here, fam. What we talking about?
He need that opportunity, Scott.
Hey,
but
pull all stops.
You know what I'm saying? But just guys, just hey man, Luke. You better just be around. Find 4. Tyron Billy Johnson, find 4. Even if you're a running back, you want 4 to feel comfortable with you pass blocking, going in there and pass block. I think Fant is on this team, not Noah. Princeton Fant's on this team because he gets a Dak Prescott cosign. You know what I'm saying? Like we've heard that a bunch. Oh, Dak likes Princeton Fant. That such Princeton Fant. Hey man, get 4 to like you, and you might just be around.
Dennis Houston, anybody?
Dennis Houston played a whole last game and we was confused. He started a whole last game versus the damn defending Super Bowl champs.
Yeah.
The defending Super Bowl champs with studs at corner. Dennis Houston putting his gloves on, like, yeah, opportunity calls. Scott, what happened? Who got hurt to where he had to play?
I don't think nobody got hurt. That was the year we didn't have nobody.
He was just out there.
And he was making routine catches, and they was just like, yeah. And Dak like him. So Dennis Houston, wide receiver 2 or 3, whatever he was that game.
Man, your ass better go find Dak Prescott and make him throw you to death. So you can play versus the Browns.
Facts, man. Facts. All right, hey, real quick, let's get a rookie report. I love these kind of news buttons, by the way.
Okay.
Rookie report, Voch. We're gonna go down the list of these guys, and again, you love to say, "Hey, man, you know, I was talking to a real friend Brian Broaddus. You have Brian Broaddus on your show, and he gives us such great insight on these guys. So let's kind of start from the top.
Cool.
With Tyler Guyton, who finally we're seeing him get some reps with the ones, and it's tough. No pads. I get it. They can only do so much out there, but he's getting some positive reports. He has some positive plays against Micah Parsons, right? No pads. And this is what, 2 days or 3 days he's running with the ones? Are we done with this? I know you say Chuma ain't bad or whatever. I think Chuma put his ass as a second guy. But are we finally going towards Tyler Guyton being the starter, and we're done playing around with this foolishness?
I do think it's time. So there's two sides of this guy. For one, if he's a first round pick, so he's gonna play.
Yep.
If he's gonna play, why are we wasting our time? Let's throw him in the fire so we can get him acclimated to the processes, put him up in there versus somebody physical, let him get punched in the chest, put him over there against somebody that's super athletic and let him run past him. Like, let's get him used to this, because you don't want to just wake up one morning and be like, all right, Myles Garrett, let's do this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm happy that he's finally involved. Sky, I say this on my show all the time. I may have said this on your show, but I'll say it again because people like to miss shows. Players Club, Diamond's first night in the club, Myron sitting over there, and Myron had the money like this. I'm finding Duke Manyweather. If Tyler Guyton can go out here and have another successful day versus DeMarcus Tank Lawrence and Micah Lion Parsons with pads on, and I'm going out there going, hey, man, Tyler Guyton had another successful day, and he looks nothing like the dude on film. Duke Manyweather, take my money. Please, sir. Please. Please, guys.
What I want to hear, Voch, is because remember we talked about Tyler Smith coming out the hands, and he worked with Duke just like Guyton, and immediately reports were, or at least Dave was telling me on the show, hey, the hands thing looks cleaned up immediately. Yeah. If Tyler's hands are cleaned up,
Duke a bad boy.
Like you said, take the money. Take the money. Now he'll never be obviously a coach for the Cowboys, but I think this is an advantage. And a little nugget, I wish I would have pulled this up, Voch. This is kind of going a different route. I know we're talking about the rookies at camp.
Yeah.
I don't know if you got a chance to see or hear Rico Dowdle sit down.
I did not.
He talked about the offensive line. The only reason why this popped up was because he talked about the O-line.
Yeah.
And he said they've simplified things, and the keys are easier to read. It sounds like schematically, and that was a big thing for me, Voch. Schematically, the run game will be different.
Yeah.
Now, will it be creative? That's a different discussion. But it does sound like there's some schematic changes. And when I think about that, you know what pops in my head? Well, let me mute myself real quick. What pops in my head is, and I hope y'all read the lips there. What pops in my head is that picture that Duke Manyweather had with Coach Solari, and how he was all cheery and happy with Coach Solari. But in all seriousness, I think there is a communication happening. Like, I think Duke is saying, hey, Coach, I think this probably be a little bit better. And Coach is like, well, this is what we're working on. Can you work on? And there's this merge, and now we're getting on practice field. We're getting out to camp. And these things are merging together seamlessly, and maybe, just maybe, schematically we'll be better up front.
Sometimes, and this actually happened one time, back in the old day, back in my old life. Sometimes when you run some concepts, you give your running backs freedoms to kind of read things and just to find daylight.
Yeah.
And sometimes if your running back's not able to do that, you go, okay, well, look, on this play, this is what we're looking for. Look here and here. Instead of reading inside out, how about you just read right guard's right hip to center's left hip, and something's going to be in there. Okay. And that'll be how you make things simple. I don't know how to make things simpler for offensive linemen in terms of like scheme. Like that ain't registered to me. But if you want to add the running back to that, that's the way how you can make things easier. That's the way how you can make things simpler, is just take away responsibilities from people. Because sometimes it's like, all right, so if we're running play side, read the leverage of the play side linebacker, and if he skates to this depth, then this angle is here. If that's not there, go there. And sometimes that's a lot for a running back to do on the fly. So maybe what they mean by made things simpler, cut things down. Maybe the offensive line's responsibility didn't change, but if we're talking about reading keys, maybe the running backs aren't reading defensive guys anymore. Hey, just find 73 and whoever playing was Brock Hop 67. Find those two numbers and look for a crease there. If that's not there, cutback got to be there. You know what I'm saying? So that may be what it is.
Yeah, pads coming on are going to be the real test for offensive line. A little bit of linebackers too, right? Because they get to thud up a little bit. But O-line, D-line, when those pads come on, that's where Micah has made guys like Tyron Smith look silly from time to time. So, but that's needed. You need Micah and D-Law to push and challenge Tyler Guyton, and you want to see Tyler Guyton win some of those reps, because if he can win some reps against Micah, well damn it, he gonna beat who's Joe Schmo rushing opposite side of Brian Burns with the Giants? Who's you know what I mean? Who's Washington's pass rushers? He gonna beat those bums. Miles Garrett's a different story.
Dorn's getting his ass whooped.
Dorn's getting whooped if he's beating Micah and them from time to time, right? So you want to see the iron sharpening iron. And so far, so good with the reports from Tyler Guyton. Kalen Carson is making plays. It feels like, I mean, I don't know if it's every day, but it feels like every day something's coming out with Kalen Carson making plays on the ball. Because in college, he only had like 3 interceptions in 4 or 5 years, whatever it was. But he's had like 2 already in this camp. He's been sticky, and he was a sticky guy coming out of college. I felt very physical, very sticky. And I thought there was a possibility that Carson could be a fantastic slot guy of the future. Mm-hmm. But from Pat, he hasn't played a lick of slot, not a single snap of slot. And with Diggs out, I guess it makes sense, right? I always thought he was the next guy up, even if Diggs was there. But they're solely focusing Carson on the outside. So it's Carson, it's Deron Bland, it's Jay Lou on the inside. Again, it's camp. It's early. Has he done enough for you to say, hey, let's not go out and get a veteran guy? By the way, Garyon Conley told the Cowboys he retired, so he doesn't count as a veteran guy.
Garyon Conley want to go back to Whole Foods or whatever he was doing. But I love Kalen Carson, but the only thing better than 1 is 2. The only thing better than 2 is a few. You know what I'm saying? So I love what Kalen Carson is doing, but I would still love to have Gilly up in here. I mean, that just makes sense to me. Why have 4 good guys? You can have 5. But there was this one report that just blinks in my mind. It was like, hey man, Kalen Carson's lined up here with the 1s, and he's staying there. So in my mind, there's no rotation at 1. Like it's not like there's Bland and there's Jordan.
Nashawn briefly was out there, felt like.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like, okay, Nashawn getting 20 reps, Eric Scott getting 20 reps, Carson getting 20 reps. It seems like Carson's getting most of them.
Yeah.
And that just says bad things for the dudes that was here with Dan and them, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, Kalen, I always felt like Kalen was like competing with outside with Jordan. And if Kalen wins, then Bland will just go to the nickel guy. But Diggs being on pup kind of changes things a little bit. We don't know when he's going to be ready. But Kalen's been impressive. And also, too, though, Scott, think about this. we're treating Eric Scott like a 5th round pick. Like, that's cool, or 6, whatever it was. Cool, Eric Scott. You know, you ain't gonna play. You're a 6th round pick, whatever.
Right.
Kalen may have gotten drafted in the 5th, but he had a 3rd round grade on
I'm
him.
about to say it felt like a steal.
Confirmed, by the way. Brian asked somebody, and they asked somebody, and they got back to him, and he got back to me. Kalen Carson had a 3rd round grade on him, and that's how I felt. I felt like Kalen Carson had better film than Nealon, in my personal opinion. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Kalen Carson was a 5th round pick, but do you treat him like the 3rd that you thought he was? And I think they treat him like that. You know what I'm saying? So hell yeah, Kalen Carson ready to go, but I would still like to have Gilmore here.
Yeah, I think coming out, and we talked about it here on the show, breaking him down, I felt like he was better on film than Eric Scott was coming out of college. He was just already more polished, and I thought he's a perfect fit for this Zimmer scheme because he can play up at the line of scrimmage, be physical. He can play off. He has his closing ability. And again, I didn't watch every corner, but I watched some of the top ones. I thought his closing ability competed with all those guys. Just closing on the ball or tackling at the line of scrimmage, running through blockers. His ability is there. The production just wasn't all the way there, but that's where coaching comes in. That's where fit, scheme, and all that comes in for the NFL. And look, if Diggs is not ready, it is encouraging. And I said this the other day. I said I only want him out there if he's forcing himself out there.
Sure.
I don't want it out there because guys are hurt and Zim and they're not signing anybody. And Zim feels I have to throw him out there. If he's forcing himself out there, then yeah, you let him go through the fire. But like you said, 2 is better than 1, and 3 is better than 2. So I'm still looking, but I love the progress of Kalen Carson. I think he has some dog to him. That's the word of the year. Some dog to him. He's some talent to him. He's a great fit. I am excited to see if maybe this kid, and I even said this as just a thumbnail, if he could be the next Bland.
Yeah.
Meaning maybe he ain't starting right away, but next thing you know, this dude is a superstar. But that's so far down the line. I ain't trying to jump that far yet.
D Shift in the chat says, how did Kalen Carson fall in the draft or whatever? Because teams suck at drafting, sir. Every single year, man, somebody just kind of fall down the draft and they had no business falling down the draft because teams just simply not good at this. But
if I had to guess, I would say ball production, like literally only had 3 picks. Draft fatigue could be another one. Because if you go look at mock draftable, and this doesn't guarantee anything, early on in the process, he was a 3, Voch.
Yeah.
He was like low 2, high 3.
That's
and then I think around March, if you go look at it, it just dropped all the way to 6, came back to 4, and settled in about 5, 6. And it's like, well, why? Everything that I've read about him, he's a smart guy, hard worker, experienced. The tape is clean for the most part. I do think something I would like to see is how he handles deeper routes. We saw Racey McMath get behind him, and I saw that in college a few times. I think it was Florida State, Notre Dame. You know, they got behind Kalen Carson when he was off ball and he had to defend maybe a multiple, like a stem or what have you at the top of a route. But look, he's a rookie. He's going to get beat from time to time.
Sure.
So, but I say draft fatigue, and like Voch says, teams just suck at drafting too. Yeah,
and just looking back on it, it was a big class for corners and wide receivers. So I guess everybody just kind of found their favorites or whatever. But I mean, I'm grateful, appreciate y'all. You know what I'm saying? Kalen seems to be a dude, especially when you need dudes now. You know what I'm saying? So Kalen seems like a hit for us. It's incredibly soon, Sky. I know,
yeah.
So, but he seems like he would be a positive hit. One thing I will say, one more thing Zimmer said when he was on the radio and all that is Zimmer's trusting his young guys. Zimmer wants to see what he has in them. Like, he's playing his young guys, not this old nonsense Cooper BB working with the 3s and, he got to get his XYZ. Yeah, he got to earn his spot or whatever. Zimmer like, all right, Marshawn, you got to play. Justin Rogers, you got to play. Kayla Carter, you got to Louis Fowl, you got to play. So I love Zimmer's attitude towards the young guys, because as much as fans say we need these young guys, Zimmer agrees too. But it's the old folks on the offense that want to stick with Chuma and Brock and them.
And the old folks the same age as him. Same damn age.
Fair enough.
You brought up one of the young guys, and pads come on today, baby. So we're going to hear some pops. And one of the young guys that I'm going to be looking at squarely, actually two of them, but on the defensive line is Marshawn Nealon.
Yeah.
You know, he was already getting some rave reviews from his athleticism, which I always thought was underrated coming out. Like people talked about his power, but I don't know. I just thought he looked very athletic for a bigger dude. This isn't a undersized defensive end. He's legitimately 6'4", roughly, something like that, 6'3", 6'4", 270, 280. Like he's a big dude that can move. Very I'm not going to use that analogy, but he can move. His athleticism look great, but it's hard to tell a lot about these guys without the pass. And today they come on, and I think we'll really see that power from Marshawn Nealon, and he's going to have all the chances in the world because Sam's not out there no more. So you're going to see packages of Nealon, D-Law, Micah all rushing with whoever the hell at defensive tackle.
Yeah, there's a handful of guys that are going to benefit from pads being on because their play style is just more physical than some of these other guys, right? Like Tyler Guyton, pads coming on for him, it might be worse for him, you know what I'm saying? Because he's not like a thumpy, put hands on you guy.
He's
you
not
know
a
what I'm
thump
saying?
guy.
I think Brock Hoffman benefits from not having pads on because he's a head-on-head guy. Cooper Beebe wants to whoop people. Marshawn Nealon wants to whoop people. You know what I'm saying? So those guys being able to thump around a little bit, being able to hit and, you know what I'm saying, make a little noise there, I think is going to actually benefit them really well. Also Mozzie, you know, Mozzie, 310 Mozzie now. Okay, cool. All right, fine. 310 Mozzie. Let's see, you know, you may not be at the weight that we want, you know, some want Mozzie to be 325, 330 at least. If Mozzie is at least strong, you know what I'm saying? Because it's hard to be a one-tech anchor with, you know, shirts and shorts on, right? But if Mozzie can really get up there, thump, and be strong at one tech, I think that's going to be great to see. But we talking about rookies. I think Marshawn Nealon is going to be super important for him because, I mean, his whole play style is like bowling ball. You know what I mean? So you have to slow down when you got the shirts and the shorts on. Offensive line can punch the hell out you, do what they want to do. But Marshawn really just wants to put his head down and thump. So I think putting pads on for him, we're going to get a lot of information on him today.
Nealon is a guy, and Maris Leofau is the other guy. You know, brought up on your show. Shouts out to We're Doing All Right podcast. He said, yeah, when the pads come on, I'm looking for him to see him thump because that is what he does. Yeah. And I don't know, maybe it was the glasses, maybe the actual film didn't go out a lot during the off season. Yeah. But he ain't no nice guy on the field.
He's a maniac.
There's this play against, I don't know who it was. It's in the package that I put together a while back.
USC.
Oh my! Right. He beats these dudes at the line of scrimmage, blockers. By the way, sometimes he's missing tackles at the LOS, but I think that gets cleaned up. And he's just destroying these guys when he's blitzing, and you try to pick him up. Micah, where I think he could beat you 17 different ways, run you over, whatever. Yeah. Leofau is just literally trying to embarrass you and run through you. Yeah. So I'm excited to see these backs. You know, Zeke, who's a big dude. I want to see Zeke and Leofau meet. Yeah. I want to see Royce Freeman and Leofau meet. I don't want to see Deuce Vaughn and Leofau meet. No. I want to see Rico Dow. You know what I'm saying? I want to see that. And Broad said this on your show. He doesn't make the same mistake twice. Mm-hmm. Or not on your show. He said it on Twitter. Yeah. To me, that just screams, this guy's going to be your Mike. Not going to be this year, but he's going to be your Mike at some point. Yeah.
You know, Kendricks is just going to transfer all that Mike Green energy to him. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And Leofau is definitely gonna have his time. But hey, we're seeing defense line up with multiple linebackers a lot more than nickel and big nickel packages. We see real linebackers out there. I'm just ready to see Demo go out there and thump somebody. I'm ready to see Leofau go out there and thump somebody. I'm ready to see Eric Kendricks tell Clark where to run and then Clark run over there. You know what I'm saying? Like it's they're not going to be able to tackle to the ground or whatever, but what you will see is them, you know, you're not going to see them just touch. I got you. You're actually going to see an actual pop, you know what I'm saying? So putting body on people. So I think if you look at the linebackers you got, they're all run around with their hair on fire guys. Like Demo's like that. Kendricks is like that. Leofau is like that. When Clark is not guessing, I hate that I got to sound like this about Clark, but when Clark's not guessing, he he's super athletic and he runs around really well. So
Word
I
is
think
he looks comfortable. Oppo of Kendrick so far, but
because Kendrick's telling him what's coming. And then we get to see Micah go thump around in the run game also. So just seeing him run and be fast and catching people, that's what's going to be fun. Like I want to see Turpin get like a jet sweep or something, and I want to see Micah chase him down just to see what that looks like. And then we can go back to Twitter and be like, all right, that's why y'all don't want Micah playing linebacker.
Well, you know what's funny? Last year, them being so light at backer, you would think they'd be more. I think they're more athletic now,
for sure.
Even with
bigger and
Kendrick,
athletic,
bigger and Demo, Leofau, Micah when he gets snaps from back there, obviously they're super athletic. Who am I missing? Clark, and Kendrick replaces
Van Der
Esch, who he's more athletic than in general. I don't care how old their gap is. I think he's just a better player in general. So this group is bigger, is stronger, is faster. And you saw another thing, side note, I love seeing this at camp, and it's something that gets me going here. You saw the disguises and packages that Zim is going to be using, and he's going to be blitzing these backers more traditionally. He's going to be blitzing them with obviously the double A gaps and things like that, dropping guys back. I like this group. I like them better if they had defensive tackle help, Voch. Sure. But I like this group. I think they'll be able to handle the responsibilities that Zim gives them. Will they be able to navigate around not having help in front of them? I have confidence in not Cooks and Kendrick's doing it. Everybody else is kind of wait and see.
I mean, we're just so far removed from like Anthony Barr. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't that long ago, but this linebacker core is nothing like that linebacker core. At one point you feel like if we had players that were super IQ guys, you feel like we were lacking athleticism. And then you feel like if we had the dudes that were athletes, you just feel like they weren't that smart. You know what I'm saying? So for Zimmer to come out, for Zimmer to come out publicly and say, hey man, Micah Parsons is not just an athlete, he's a smart player. For him to co-sign Leofau, for Overshown to get the co-sign, like this linebacker core is night and day, bro. It's night and day. And look, honestly, I think the D line will be fine. It's just we just need one tech to not suck so bad. You know what I'm saying? So Mozzie and Justin, I'm not even gonna say Carl Lewis, Carl Davis. I don't want to say Carl Davis' name, but if one tech is simply serviceable, I think your linebackers will be just fine.
Look, I don't think I ever got your thoughts on this because I'm so torn, and I hate being torn about this when it comes to Osa because Osa's my guy, man. Mm-hmm. But his responsibilities are about to change drastically, okay, under Mike Zimmer and with Jeff Scanina. He already came in as an undersized 3 tech that is asked to get upfield. Now, what he does have with him is a wrestling background, so leverage is not a problem. And we've seen him do well against double teams in college from time to time, right? Mm-hmm. And even in NFL. But he's 280 pounds.
Yep. He's a
3 tech. Your backup 3 tech is 269 or 70 pounds, whatever Chauncey Golson is. I hate that I feel this way, but I am skeptical on how Osa can perform in this scheme, bro. Am I tripping?
First of all, you're not tripping, but let me ask, how big was Bengals Atkins, Geno Atkins? How
he
big
was your normal 3 tech? He was 300 plus, small 300 plus.
plus.
He was a normal 3 techie guy, strong guy. Yeah. Historically speaking, Zim gets big 300 plus. 300 is minimum. Yeah. Historically speaking, the smallest 3 tech he's ever had was something Johnson in Minnesota. Yeah. If you go look at his history, he's 320, 325, 330, 340. He likes big guys. Now the league has changed. Yeah. But again, they're going to be asking him to control blocks, take on doubles, just be in the way. I'm worried that down after down, he gets washed and tired. And this is a guy who gets tired, right? Who gets worn down, I should say, throughout the season. Yeah. We need help just to help him, in my opinion. We don't want him playing 70% of the snaps by the end of the season, dealing with blockers all day.
Yeah, and, then there's not a whole bunch of, 3 tech help to, you know what I'm saying, like rotate him in and out or whatnot. So, yes, it's a fair point, but I just think Osa's really good.
Right.
I think Osa's good. Osa's strong. Osa's coachable. Brian was telling me he was down there when he was with Coach Scanina, and Osa was doing everything perfectly. Like he was taking in the coaching or whatnot. So I think Osa can play in any scheme. Like size varies or whatever, but if they needed Osa to be bigger, they would have made him bigger. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what the league does. Like they can make people big. They can make you whatever. But
Yeah.
I think he'll be fine. You know, it's
Okay.
more so about Chauncey and Carl and them for me. But Osa's like he may not be the perfect size, but he's actually good.
Yeah.
Micah may not be the perfect size for edge, but he's good. You know what I'm saying? So I think good can outweigh that.
Plus, he's got incentive, right? Is he in a contract year, right?
Go get his money. Try to get his money. Yep. Sure.
Yeah, so that always helps too.
Mm-hmm.
Last rookie we're gonna talk about here, Cooper Beebe. So far, I haven't heard many first team reps for Cooper Beebe, right? Tyler Guyton has got all the first team reps. We know that Cooper Beebe is, doing shotgun snaps with Mom Dukes. Trying to work on that, and we joked about this last time you were here. I said, "Hey,
I've never snapped a football to my mom before. He doing too much,
but he need to work on it. Because what did I say, Voch? I said if Cooper Beebe can snap the rock, the rest you just deal with. Yep. Well, right now we got to work on snapping the rock out of shotgun. And the analogy I used was if he improves there, but he still has some errant snaps from time to time. But he's Andre Garrard. Remember Andre Garrard? That motherfucker couldn't snap to save his life, but he was a Pro Bowler. He was a mauler. Then you live with it. But if he's Phil Costa, who couldn't snap to save his life, and he also wasn't a good center, then you can't roll him out there. So if Brock Hoffman might have the most leverage from a coach on a damn team. He just might.
It takes you a week to learn how to snap. It takes you a month to get kind of good at it. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So after that, you're just getting better per game, per practice, whatever. Coming from a center, by the way, played center for 6 years. So this is where we at with this guy. Will McClay said this. He was on the radio yesterday, and Brian asked him a very great YouTube question. He was like, "Man, Will McClay, man, Chuma Doga been playing all season, all off season, and out of nowhere, Guyton just showed up. What happened?" And Will was like, "Hey, man, these guys got to earn it. He's a rookie, boom, boom, boom." So in my mind, all right, cool. They're placing hurdles in front of the young people, and the minute that they can pass these hurdles, they get to do their thing. All right, cool. So maybe the hurdles for BB are snap related, play identifying related, making calls and things like that. Maybe that's the reason why he hasn't been involved. But I tell you what, Sky. Just like I say with continuity, there's always something that can overtake something else, and that's just whooping folk. You may not be able to make all the calls, but if you a center and you out there whooping folk, hey, Tyler Smith, help this man with the call. Hey, Dak, look, you've been making calls your whole life. Dak, make them calls for BB so he can focus on snapping and whooping folk. Hey, look, shouts out to Brock Hoffman, but if he can line everybody up perfectly, identify the mic, ID the slide, set everything up, but he getting his ass whooped, that don't mean nothing. But if Cooper go, what is this? And Tyler Smith say, but then they beat the hell out the one tag in front of him. I'm taking the dude that's physically whooping people. So I think pads are important for BB. Whether BB has the mental side down or not, he's still a rookie and he's still got time to do it and fix it or whatever. And of course, if center just ain't in the cards for him, he'll be a fantastic guard anyway. But there's ways around. You can't line everybody up. Yeah. All right, Zach line everybody up, but just whoop this dude and it'll be fine. So pads are important today for BB.
I want to say Kyle Kozier did that for our young centers back in the day. So like you said, Tyler can help with that. Dak is obviously going to help with that, and just more reps at it. But right now, if we're looking at the BB Tyler Guyton situation, I think it was again broad. Just keep bringing them up, but it's like I don't know if we're going to have two rookies starting, and I know Bobby Belt was like he don't think any of them starting. I thought that was I don't agree with that. I think at the very least one of them will, and just based off of how the coaches felt, it always felt like to me Tyler Guyton, but I'm hoping both of them. Just get them out there, man, because I think the more they gel together, the better this offensive line will be. And, McCarthy always talks about it. You want the cohesion. You want the consistency in the offensive line. I don't think we want to be snip-snapping all year, bro.
Mike McCarthy said that, but Voch says this: the only thing better than continuity is better dudes, and I think BB is a much better dude.
He is.
Also too in the chat, man, people say, why is Voch talking like that? Why is he in third person? What is Voch saying? Y'all don't like wrestling, you know what I'm saying? And my favorite wrestler talk just like that. Rocky used to talk just like that. So when I come on Will Steele show, I kind of do it a little more. But Voch says this is a reference to Rock says this. So.
Yeah.
Who in the blue hell are you?
You're new. And if you're new, welcome. If you haven't seen the Voch Lombardicus Prime, he is one of, if not the best here in doing this whole thing. So make sure, y'all tap in with him over on Voch Lombardi on YouTube. I mean, if you're not watching the broadest Voch recaps, you're missing out on so many small nuggets that Twitter just can't possibly put out there. So interesting. If you don't, because you've been doing that for years. The third person.
Yeah. This is a thing, man. I've been saying Voch
says this. Yeah.
I mean,
you need to get the merch, dog.
Yeah. If I'm allowed to, I don't know. Them of us copyright playing a song. They copyright everything. But yeah,
it'll be fine. By the way, speaking of which, we got the wrestling podcast going out, right?
Yeah. Shouts out to y'all. Salute.
Hey, we reached out to WWE and we got approval to use their material. So maybe I reach out and be like, hey, can my dog get the catchphrase?
Yeah. Look at y'all in the building. Look at you.
Yeah.
Does wrestling have like media? Like they got
my man, we finna be credentialed for that too.
They got wrestling credentials.
They do press conferences and everything.
Ain't it scripted? What y'all gonna ask? Do they be in character when y'all ask?
Sometimes, yeah. Yeah, right.
I need to get back into wrestling.
It ain't no different than, I don't know if you saw the MCU just rolled out.
Yeah.
Their future plan. No different than that. Comic-Con, yeah.
Fair enough. I gotta get back into it then. Fair enough.
Hey, y'all got anything for us? We about to head up out of here, man. Hey, Voch, this was, again, this about get to next week. We gonna keep doing this game, bro.
Step in with me, man. And I just wanna apologize if anybody saw me yawning or if my eyes was red. I'm sorry because I was working with
Foots. He been working, and I didn't think about this. You're right. Foots asked you to come on at midnight.
He can only work at night,
and then I turn around. I can only work with you in the morning.
But I'm not gonna say no to y'all though. I'm not gonna say no to y'all though because I love y'all. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just gonna have to wake up early in the morning. It is what it is.
Nah, I ain't gonna hold you. Jay Lombardi said, did you ever see the Rock audio on Twitter?
Yeah.
That might be.
That's the what.
Anytime somebody say something crazy on Twitter and I see that in the chat, I lose it every single time. Or I say the chat. That's how you know I'm YouTube. In the comments, I lose it every time.
That it doesn't matter. My name's Billy. You know what I'm saying? Like
that. Not career, but,
Yeah, man, Rocky had so much. Man, I'm about to go watch some.
I personally think the GOAT on the mic, and a lot of people will bring up John Cena. But if I had to do a Mount Rushmore, Cena, Rocky, Flair, and Jericho, those would be my Mount Rushmore. We're talking about the mic. Honorable mention, Roddy Piper be up there too. But yeah, those are my four guys.
Jericho,
my four horsemen.
Jericho tough. See, Jericho, I don't know if he gets all his respect nowadays, but when I bowed out of wrestling, Jericho wasn't getting all his respect. I follow him from WCW over to WWE or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And he was always one of my favorites, man. So yeah, that's
he getting his respect. He gonna go to Hall of Fame. He's gonna go down as one of the best. Real quick, because we forgot this last time, Voch. Super chats.
Oh shit, my fault.
Yeah, super chats. I just happened to see one pop up here. Let me just make sure we got it here. I think I got two on this side, right? So
go ahead.
Let me get Heavy. Is that Chevy?
Super chat.
Heavy Chevy. That sounds like a wrestling name. Coming to the ring, 6'3", 270.
Chevy, a jobber like
Chevy.
You know they hit lose, boy.
Heavy jobber.
Yeah.
Heavy Chevy. I ain't gonna call you no jobber, dog. Appreciate you. $2 super chat said, "What's good, Sky and Voch? What's happening?" And then if we look, Voch, if me and you are the Harlem Heat,
Yeah.
Brother L's our manager.
Yeah.
He's our manager. He don't say much. He just in the back with it. He just do this.
Shouts out to L, man. L been holding us down, and L been speaking things into existence over time, man. So shit.
Man, he speaks some positive vibes to me all the time, man. Man, why didn't it let me? It's not really letting me read the whole damn thing. Let me see.
It must be long.
Here you go. He said he dropped 5. He said the hard work is coming to fruition. # Studio 24 era is arriving. Yo, that's crazy. Because we were hashtagging the studio. That's what I'm saying.
Like I was saying, he's manifested this. Yeah,
he definitely did.
And then on my side, Finn Jeremias, he's definitely getting beat up by the Rock. He dropped 5 and says, 2005 draft class may be the worst I've seen from Dallas.
What? Wait. Is this a troll job? Does he understand who was in the 2005? I think maybe 2009. Is that what you're talking about, bro?
I didn't see some horrific draft classes, dog. Where ain't none of them end up being shit.
2005 might be one of the best draft classes the Cowboys ever had.
Yeah.
DeMarcus Ware, Jay Ratliff, Marion Barber, Marcus Spears. Am I tripping?
No. He's saying 2023 draft class may be the worst I've ever seen. So last year's class may be the worst I've ever seen.
2005, Voch. I thought I heard 2005. Okay.
No, 23.
My bad. Because I was about to say, dog. Yeah, 2023 is tough.
2005, incredible. Yeah, 2005. Yeah. Appreciate you, Finn. Sky was on your ass.
Yeah.
Bad. Good
Any
show.
more?
No. That's it.
Okay, all right, there we go. Hey, appreciate y'all super chats, man. Let's let Voch get out here, get some rest, because I'm pretty sure with pads, you're gonna be right back up on this thing here in a few hours with brothers.
I'm going to the gym and I'm about to go by. So yeah, I'm not getting no rest till the night. It is what it is.
It is what it is. I'm gonna go ahead and press this button though.
Push the goddamn button. Push the goddamn button.
Hard out. We ain't even gonna play around. Shouts out to the Blue Flame though.
Appreciate y'all, man.
Y'all the best.
Till next time, man. Follow me on Twitter, man.
People don't like. Love y'all. Love the true fans we have here. Y'all the best, man. We out here. Peace.